else we're planning on, family day at the park, grill, barbecue. I do have, so we got a lot of stuff to work on. I have a speech prepared, and I went to the UPS store and everything to copy it today. I don't know what happened, but they got the wrong one. So bear with me when I try to deliver this off my phone, because it needs said. Today we had a scheduled guest speaker, and I'm going to touch on it here what happened. Give me a second. It seems my reputation precedes me everywhere I go, and that is unfortunate, not just for me, but for my wife and children as well. For any here who do not know my name, it's Chester Doles, and yes, it's true, I was a fourth-generation Klansman. I cannot help the family I was born into anymore, so that any of you can help the family you were chosen into. So yes, that is how I was raised, and it was indeed who I was, a significant part of my life. But life has a way of changing you. So does love, and so do your children. I wish I could stand before you today and say that those changes happened a whole lot sooner in my life than they did, and that it didn't take a few hard knocks along the way to help me get started seeing that my heart and head really were not in agreement the way I looked at life. I didn't know it then, but I know it now. God had begun a work in me that I would not be able to resist much longer. It's been a long and bumpy road, and I'm still growing and changing daily. I have had a lot to change, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but I've opened myself up to become the man God would have me be. It hasn't been easy for a hard-headed, arrogant, thinks-he know-it-all I have been my whole life. My wife can surely attest to this. But for now, that part of it has been and is absolutely nothing compared to the hate from people who know absolutely nothing about me or my family or my life except for a few old news reports and even arrest records. But because they have a political agenda that is completely anti-American, they find it acceptable to destroy me, my family, my business, our group, when the only agenda our group has is to try to keep the country aligned with the Constitution. None of us has denied that we got here without a past. And yes, some of us walked away from these so-called derogatory terms, racist groups. Together, we wound up here. Together, not because we're trying to hold on to any of those old extremist views, because we can no longer reconcile our lives with, but because the one thing we did have in common and do believe in that every fiber of our being is we love our country. And we hate what we see is happening to it by the socialist agenda that is being rammed down America's throat. And if the only good thing left over from our lives before we walk away from the beliefs we could no longer abide by was the brotherhood of standing together for what we believe in, well, we'll take that part with pride. We are Americans, proud Americans, patriots. That shouldn't be something to be attacked by in our own country. As a matter of fact, anyone who is an American cannot say that, should be the ones questioning what the hell is wrong with themselves. Anybody who needs to dig up a man's past to destroy anything good and just he is doing today to honor and uphold the Constitution of his country is what is wrong in our world today. That is the person or group that needs to be under attack by anything and anybody that is truly American. With our core group formed, yeah, we were 5 white men with a vision and a prayer. That doesn't mean we were racist. That's just who happened to be there at our first group in December. It was a group of men who had a profound change of heart, soul, and mind, no doubt in the mind of divine intervention from a loving and forgiving God who somehow manages to take the most unlikely and unworthy men and just says, watch what I can do. Because I can promise you, it would be a whole lot easier to just remain silent, not enter into this lion's den. Subject my wonderful wife and children to these slings and arrows, I could just go about my life quietly, not bringing any attention to myself. I guess I could. But I don't think God turned me upside down and shook me out and started this work in me for me just to go quietly into the night. Today's meeting agenda is a muster call for the Second Amendment and petition drive and Lumpkin County, to keep Lumpkin County free from the socialist drive to dismantle our great country. They want to do it by convincing America to beg the government to take their rights away from them by making them scared, and it works. We were supposed to have a guest speaker here today who was running for Congress, who within a couple of hours of his announcement as our guest speaker, he was intimidated not to appear here today. So fear works. It works really well. And sadly, it works even better on an uneducated society with no longer even knows what rights they are, so willing to give up in the false hope of safety. We are at a pivotal point once again in our nation's survival. We could lose what being America even means anymore. First time the country was fought for, it was fought for by 3% of the Patriots. That half of the country was completely against, and the rest just thought they were a little bit loud and maybe somewhat crazy. Well, best I can figure, the only people who ever gone out and changed the world are those that just crazy enough to think they could. I, for one, am extremely grateful to be a descendant of such crazy men. And if loving my country and believing that every drop of blood spilled on these grounds to give birth to her were not in vain, and it is worth whatever it takes for me to, even if I am labeled every vile, despicable name the socialists can spew at me, and even if it means I might be seen as a little bit crazy, then I will proudly take my place beside some of the greatest heroes who have suffered far worse, because I do not take being blessed to be born in America for granted. It is a responsibility I wear with honor. So with that being said, since our small group formed, we have been through some changes. Some may even say growing pains, but the one thing we are not have been are racist. And we are not a racist KKK front group, as our enemy seems to refer to us in their opening lines. The only memberships we've ever revoked were for members who had continuing ties with extremist groups, and it has been hard to bridge the great racial divide, but not because we are racist, but because we are continuously turned into a weapon that, just like now, and welded as being all these things that we are not. We do have members from all races, religions, and walks of life. It's just not the focus of our identity. Everything gets checked at the door. The only identity that matters once you enter our group is that you are an American. Because that is the only thing that matters to us. We do not play identity politics in our group. I will end this with an open invitation for everyone who would like to find out more about American Patriots USA really are, who we really are. Please read our website. It's extensive. We do not meet in secret. We are open to the public. We do not discriminate. Come visit us. Come visit for yourself. Then ask yourself, why is it so important that a George Soros-backed group to work so hard to shut down one group with less than 200 members?